Hello, my fellow weirdos. Um, Another heat advisory starting like in less than an hour. I had one yesterday. It wasn't on there when I went out to go plant those things that I planted. And for somebody with a messed up foot, it's hard enough with a shovel because it's my dominant foot. So I have to use a shovel on my weak foot. It's crazy. But I was sitting out there on the porch since my apartment is right by the playground, especially in the summer. Well, when the kids aren't in school, every night till like almost 10 o'clock, because there's lights out and everything, all the families come out. There's a lot of like Hispanic and Indian and, that sort of families. And they're very, they use it as a social, you know, time. The kids are out there a couple hours, and it's really cool. Sometimes it's the moms walking around and the dads stay by the watching the kids, and they're not so worried about anybody taking them at that point as far as something happening, because it gets pretty crowded in there some days. And it's starting to happen like that every day. And then sometimes the moms hang around and the dads do the walking while they're talking, so it's kind of cool. um, and sometimes all the parents, it's just nobody's walking, getting their steps in. They're all just socializing. And so we have new people, new neighbors that just moved in. We have a porch, and it's basically 4 apartments. Me and upstairs, the neighbors, and upstairs. Well, the ones across from me on the ground floor, um, that family was the one I had told you about. That basically, when Trump made all the tech cuts, he had a good job, and he got a job that he lost it, and he with their program, they have to have a job within 60 days. Oop, sorry. They have to have a job within 60 days. And he got a job within 60 days, but then they laid this crap on him that, oh, well, it'll be past 60 days once the paperwork is all done. That's not how it works. And he says, I know that. But he would so they kind of self-deported back to Mexico because their daughter was like an infant, when they came over, and she's like 14, so this is all she's known. So it really sucked. It sucked. Because he played by the rules, and even by the amended rules, and they still were not, playing. And that broke my heart. And no, I'm not going to start crying. But yes, I do feel it too. But this new neighbors, it's a young couple, no kids that I don't know. I don't think I've seen any kids with them yet, but they take to sitting on the steps, and I've noticed a lot of people. And I thought, that sometimes when they want to sit, they'll sit on the steps there. And I always thought they just sat there because it was the closest, steps. It was right up on the playground. I mean, literally my apartment, it's right up on there. I'd say not even 100 feet. I mean, seriously. And so we were talking about just different stuff. She was asking me how long I've been here, and about the cats and all that stuff. They don't have any. And I said something about the garden. She goes, I was just telling my husband and I were just talking the other night she goes, I look forward to coming out here and sitting out here, not just because, we socialize with everybody. And she says, but she goes, it's just so nice because everything's so colorful. Remember, Indian people, they have I see some of these women with their traditional, sometimes they have traditional attire, and sometimes they're not. And they always have such gorgeous the bright colors, you know. So I mean, dude, that's my tribe. I get the bright color thing, you know. I totally get the, I mean, vivid colors. Some of those outfits that those women wear is just absolutely freaking stunning. I mean, not even in just their design, it's the colors they get are so fabulous. I saw one gal wearing last year. It was like an orange, but it had pink, hot pink, and like yellow in it, and I was like, oh my god. I love that kind of combination. But I see the difference between hues and stuff. The subtler changes more so than some other people do. But she said we were just saying how it's all the colors and all the things that are growing. I said, well, this is so far the best year so far, just because I've been expanding. And I was like, you see that grass section in there? Yeah, I'm kind of a little worried. Next year, the landscapers aren't going to even have to cut that grass part because it won't be there. And she laughed. But I was giving her suggestions because I told her that whole plot is in the front of their place. It's a smaller piece than mine. But, because even though I'm right across from the playground, I actually have a nice little decent lot. And it's on a flat place, which is even, wow, I got totally lucky. And this side, too, where I planted, on that window over there, is also relatively flat. Just a teeny little incline, but it's beautiful places for planting. And it really made me feel good, you know? Because I'll tell you, this morning, even and last night, I was hurting just from, I think, how many days? It was 5 holes, 6 holes, 7 holes, 6 holes, and then a big, you know, section. Just I dug up. It was a big triangle. And I had to move some solar loads over because I've expanded. I just really hope this stuff grows. It's really awesome. It'll be beautiful, very, very lushy, even from me looking out the window. So I'm excited. I'm hoping it grows. But it was really, really, it made me smile inside when she said, oh, we love to sit here. She goes, it's not just because it's the closest step. She goes, because we can sit over there or over there. I said, yeah. She says, we just love, you know, all your plants. She says, it just looks so cool. She goes, and the flags. I have you've seen it, Progressive Pride, and the puzzle piece autism flag, because they also have an infinity sign too. But it just really made me happy because, I mean, all that work, it was worth it to me, for me, because I enjoy seeing it. And not only seeing it, but knowing that it's there because I put that effort into it. As disabled as I have become over the years between the foot, and you can see this thing's been hurting me. I wore this last night. I took it off for a little while. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, which I'm happy about because my shit needs watering. Besides the fact that it makes me happy, and I know because I used to have a 10 foot by 16 foot, or I think it was 15 by, oh no, it wasn't 10 by 12. It was, I can't remember. It was a nice little plot. Maybe I'll find some old pictures if I can find some. I actually used a little rototiller I bought on time back then. Just the kind you push, you know. But it's got an engine and everything. It was like $400, $600, $700, something like that at the time. It was like decades ago. But I paid it off like $26 a month or something until it was paid off for a couple of years. I did have to sell it eventually when I split with him, and I wasn't in a place where I even could use it, so what was the point of having it? But, like I said, I do the stuff because even here, not all apartment complexes or even a garden apartment complex let you use the space around you. Um, if you want to grow stuff. Oh, on the parking lot where I take in that parking spot, they have a dumpster. Not all of them do. So that's where I go for my stuff. Oh my God, they did it last year too. They have this one people there. She's making use of her back windows, and it's so cool because she's got a pepper plant. So you take out your garbage and you're watching how their tomatoes. She's got a trellis up. It's so cool. It is so cool to see other people that you know are in a place, because in the complex that I grew up in, well, not all of it, but when we were in Parsippany, um, I've seen it, and I don't remember anybody putting anything but maybe a flower pot or something on the porch, but they didn't. They weren't allowed to use, but they also had sprinklers and stuff, and that's why they didn't want you to hit their stuff. But they don't have irrigation here, which I kind of like, because you're not forcing stuff into nature. You're not forcing the nature. Your nature is your nature. Like I've said on another video, I've seen them spraying in the areas, like I just said, on the parking areas that have the dumpsters, but that makes sense. And they'll spray inside, but I've never seen them like spraying plants or anything like that. Never seen them playing, doing that ever. And so without spraying pest, on the plants, there's a lot of dogs and cats, people, and it's probably why they don't have rhododendrons and stuff around here, or hydrangea, because they're not so good with dogs. I mean, they can be toxic if you've got a chewer, And the fact that this place lets you do that, it was like, sometimes it just feels like I was meant to be here for a very long time. I was going to have a place that, even though I rented, I was able to have my growing space. And, getting an apartment on the ground floor is not the easiest thing. It's usually the ones that most people want. Getting one that's on the ground floor and has a balcony is, and I knew that at the time, because there are people that have on a wait. They want to, like, if you have an apartment that comes up that has a balcony, could I move over to that one? I mean, seriously, because the balconies really are nice. It cuts down the light that you get in your living room, like your living room, dining room type of area. It cuts that down, because it's not just a small little, 10-foot balcony type thing. I mean, it's a full type of balcony. You see my balcony, and I would much rather have a balcony, even though it messes up the lighting. You get light in it, but it's not like a bright light. It's like an indirect light. And it's also, the windows are on the west, so we get the afternoon sun. Well, the afternoon sun, even though, like I said, it messes it up because you can't have a lot of plants. They've died. They just don't make it. This plant in here is right. It gets more light because there's two windows in here, and they're unobscured. The sun hits the windows directly in the afternoon. It doesn't hit the window, or even the balcony door window directly ever, which probably keeps it from getting as hot as some apartments do. Because almost every apartment, there's a lot of apartments that in the bedroom, there's a small air conditioner that they've put in themselves, you know. I haven't done that yet in 4 years. And now with my nephew giving me that air purifier, that blows cool air because it conditions it, sort of, you know, but it comes out nice and cold. I mean, nice, it's not frigid, but I mean, I've put it here and it hasn't, all my windows were open all night and it got a little humid, but the smoke detector didn't go off with the humidity. I think I fixed the problem. And the back part of the house here, anyway, is where the cat boxes run over there, and then there's one in the bathroom. So back here is where you need their, you know, clean a little better anyway. So, but yeah, I'm just really hoping those plants work. But yeah, you guys, all of this is to let you, remind you guys that sometimes something that you're doing that makes that you're happy looking at, you do a mural on something, it makes you happy when you see it. You have no idea how many other people it also makes happy as they go past your door or something. If you're allowed to, like, do a mural or something on your door or something, if they allow that, you know, I mean, some people will be like, you know, but there's a lot more that'll go every time. They kind of look forward to going by that unicorn door, or, you know, just because they get a laugh, or that door with the dragon on it or something, you know. I mean, that would be so fucking cool, right? I mean, not having your kid, you know, I mean, it has to look decent, you know, but I mean, not professional, just not half-assed, you know. But wouldn't that be so cool? It's like for delivery or something. It's like, yeah, I'm the one with the dolphins, or I'm the one with the ocean scene on the door. Yeah, I'm the one with the dolphins and the rays on it. Yeah, I'm the one with has the cats and the peace sign on it. I mean, that would be so cool. At least I think it would. But I know I'm a little off the typical, shall we say. Just remember that something that you do that can be seen in public that makes you feel happy every time you see it, or gives you inspiration, or, you know, if every time you walk past, every day you go past a big poster or a sticker on a window or something, and it's, you know, something of inspirational, like women power, or, you know, freedom ring or stuff like that. If it does that to you, because I have those stickers on. In fact, one of the maintenance guys I was dealing with the smoke detector last week, we were talking because he's relatively new, and he's never come to my apartment, so we've never really talked before. And I said something about, I was asking how they felt about, which, I hate to say it this way, what side are they on, type of thing. And are they like, yeah, go ice? Or that's how I phrase it. I said, are they like, all right, ice? Or like, melt ice? I don't think so. He said, yeah, they're more that. I said, I had a feeling, because they, you know, at first I was wondering if they were giving me shit, you know, all the crap that started right after I put my autism and progressive pride flags up. Had them for a while, but I didn't get them mounted because I couldn't do it by hand. You just can't in that wood. And to get the brackets up, until I got a drill several months ago, 5 months, 6 months ago, something like that. So many people say they love the flags. I just, the things that make you smile, that you put out in public, or if you dress a certain way, and And I do have some hats coming beside that other hat. Yeah, I got a few more. I'm not telling you what they are. I think it's 3 of them. Uh, I know you just can't wear it with anything. It's not like a cabbie hat and a beret, it's not those yet. I'm getting the funky ones first. I used to have a hat collection when I was in high school. I had a leather cabbie, like a newsy boy kind of hat. I had all kinds of different hats, and I did wear them to school. Um, in my 40s, 30s, I got kind of into the 40s, 50s, into scarves and such, because you can use them in a lot of different ways, and you can tie them a lot of different ways. And if you have long ones, you can do all kinds of draping, like they do with that one solid sheet of material, or how they do all the different styles with just a very simple, basic shape. It's kind of like that. But I just want to keep reiterating to you guys, if you put something out on your, like a garden flag, or you do your door a certain way, or you put something up that, and when you get home, it's like, I like that. It's welcoming. That's the word she used, the neighbor used last night. She says it's just so, she goes, all the colors and the growing things, she says it's very welcoming. That's the word she used. And I was going to say, I remembered that, but I knew there was a certain way she expressed it. That popped in, finally. Thank you, brain. That's the word she used. Now you see why it made an impression on me. Because when somebody says, oh, your space is so welcoming, for most people, that's like, cool, cool. Because she even asked me, so who are you friends with here? I was like, just like I'm doing here with you guys. I don't like go over, nobody invites me over for coffee or tea, or it's not anything like that, but I'm friendly, you know, um, with people. And she says, "Oh," I said, "No, it's okay. It's okay." Um, and then she said, "If you," because she was asking, I saw the wrist thing and was telling her about the foot and stuff. And a couple times she said, "If you ever need any help with something, please just ask." She says, "My husband can help. I can help. If you need something, if you ever need help with something." So it's like, thank you. Gonna make me cry. These are the people that the Republicans and Trump and Vance don't want in our country. And I'll tell you what, every single one of them that they disappear, sorry, every single one of them that they disappear, and every single place that they silence or shutter, each one is a serious mark against the greatness of this country. Because this land and this country and this nation was built by immigration. That is what makes a culture great. When it's a culture that is basically, which is exactly what America is. We didn't, America had its culture, the Native Americans. But we just fucking decimated all of it instead of learning any of it. I mean, a handful of women did, and a handful of men, but more women. But white people didn't even try learning. They just, and it's not like they were bringing, because they were running from a government, okay? Some of them because they couldn't stand the oppression, and some of them because, well, they were criminals like we have in our white-only house. But the thing that made America, and I am positive this is what, I am very sure. I will be surprised if you prove me otherwise. But one of the major factors in America becoming great is not the fact that we ignored the culture that was already in these lands. That was a major fuck up. That was a major, major transgression. But they ignored the one culture that was already here, and instead of building on that for themselves and including it, since you did take their fucking land, instead of doing that, they just wanted to completely obliterate it and put their beliefs in place. Oh, wait a minute. That's what they're doing now, isn't it? Oh. They're doing the same thing. What made America great, aside from the fact that that was the worst thing, is to get rid of all the culture that was this fucking country before white men colonized it and stole it, basically, is the word. Instead of colonize, they stole it. But after that shit happened, we realized we needed people. And when you weave together a little, the best of this culture, the coolest thing from that culture, the really neatest things from this and that one, and you weave it together, melt it together, however you want to use it, a melting pot, a woven fabric of different cultures. The American culture, that's I think why so many people can identify, because it doesn't matter what country you come from, there's some part of America that is very familiar to you, because a lot of Asian people settled there, or a lot of Italians people settled here, or you get what I'm saying? A lot of German people settled here, a lot different places, and that's why the regions of America can be so radically different. And I'm not just talking weather and terrain. I'm talking society, the way you speak, the things you eat. People they're like, I can't believe that's American, but that's American too. Wait, but you said that's American, but they never see or do or eat that there. But they say there's Americans, and that place never. That's what's so cool about America. And the Trump administration is doing the same thing the white colonists did. They're getting rid of everything that's there and saying they're superior and they know best, and what their laws and their religion is the true one, so fuck you all, and if you don't agree to doing it our way, we're just gonna fucking force you to, or kill you, or imprison you, and then you can't do anything. They did the same thing. They put them on reservations and said, you stay there. That's your land. You can't come over here. Excuse me, all of it was their fucking land. That's kind of like what the Trump administration is like. They're doing the same thing the white fucking colonists did. They want to get rid of everybody who isn't white. Fuck off! You know, indigenous women are the most ignored and most unsolved murders in this country that deals with indigenous women. I think the same thing's probably true in Australia. If I remember, I might be remembering wrong, But I believe I remember reading that last year, that the indigenous women there also, their cases, they disappear. Nobody's all that concerned law wise. So, yes, I wanted to be positive, but I also had to get some of my thoughts about that shit in. But just remember, those little those little things that you put out in the public, um, people that come up, they see the tiles that I painted. I've got to repaint them from all the weather for the last 2 years. But, it says safe space. You can still, and it just makes people kind of smile, that's cool. You know, um, I've done things because I've seen it on somebody else's place. And I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Hmm. So, at the beginning of the month, I'm gonna get some things. So the landscapers, I'm working on that. Just know if something makes you happy, it's probably gonna make others happy. And I was very surprised that she said so many people like to come sit here and talk. Not, I thought it was because the playground's right in their face. They can watch their kids, but she says that's not the only reason. She goes, there are other steps that we can see them from. She says it's just so nice right here. Cool. So yeah, I am pleased that even though I'm in pain, like last night I was so hurt, and then this morning, even after my pain meds, I probably need to take a dab because I only took 2 this morning, and I'm just. And yes, that is part of my pain management, CBD wax. Um, but yeah, go ahead and put that little poster up on your door, or paint that paint a funny thing on your railing or something like that, if you're allowed, if it's yours, or you're allowed to do stuff like that. Just find something, because trust me, we all need that boost, that little spurt of joy, that little very brief walking past something and just being like, nice, that's pretty. Sometimes when I'm taking out the garbage and I'm coming back, I'll just stop and sit down on my walker, because I use the walker to push the stuff. It makes it so much easier on my wrist. And I'll just sit across from on the other side of the playground so I get a full view of my, and I'll just be like, watch the flags, blowing in the breeze. Just kind of sit there for like a minute or two and just kind of assess the picture, and it just really, it makes me happy. And I also know that if push comes to shove, I can do that. Like, people think, oh, there's no way in hell that girl can run. Not with the way she's fucking walks with the foot. You know what? If my life or somebody else's life depended on it, I could run for short amounts. I could run to help something, and I could probably do a lot of things. That doesn't mean that later, a few hours later, or for the next few days, I will be paying for it heartily. I mean, I'm sure that foot would be swelled up to fucking hell for 4 days. Seriously, where I can't even get a shoe on. Really. But it's worth it, because that's just 4 days, like, it's a lot more enjoyment than 4 days. So it's worth it. Win your battles. Pick your battles. and just don't fight every damn thing. Sometimes not necessarily conceding, but putting it off matters when you. I mean, the planting is like it's planting. It's not has to be done, but yeah, it did have to be done. It had to be done because I had to get in the thing or they die. For me, that was like, oh God, no. But I will keep you updated. I'm hoping there is progress and that they start growing in the next few days and they wake up. Um, it's always so nerve wracking when it's mail order, and or anything really when you put it in because you put it in the bulb or the corm or the tuber or the rhizome. You put them in and they have roots on them, but they're all dried up, and it's like it's hard to look at this and think, yeah, I'm not getting no 5-foot plant out of this. That is not that right there ain't going to be no 3-foot lily. I can tell you that much. It's like this big, and it's not even plumpy. It's not mushy. It's just there. And lo and behold, that damn thing, that's what freaks me about growing. So, and my morning, you want to watch morning, you could almost watch them grow. They must grow at least several inch, each vine must grow at least a couple inches a day. A damn day. I'm not kidding you. If you want to like have something just take the hell over and self-seed itself, morning glories. They'll trail on the ground and do a ground cover. They don't care. Give them a railing or a trellis or a balcony. They'll climb it. They'll reach over. They'll wrap around themselves. They're trying to strangle my my sunflowers. I have to go out there like last night and unwrap it and be like, sweetie, get off of here. Here, you need to go over here. Yes, yes, I do talk to them. But the spearmint's another one. The thing is, I've got it growing, and it's taken off. It's a bush already. I need to start cutting it so it gets bushier. But that'll come back probably next year, too. It's invasive. But the way I look at it is if it starts getting off into the grass, it'll just smell like spearmint around my place when they cut the grass. And I'll let them know as it gets bigger that if it gets out into just you cut it up until the edge of my bed there. But yeah, you can go ahead and cut it. And it'll just be very, very pleasant every Monday. When they cut the grass, I will smell the spearmint. I was like, well, that's not a bad thing. So, I don't know how long I've been talking. A long time. But, you just never know who you're touching when you're not even there. Just by what you've left for others to appreciate. That's what the art abandonment thing is about. If you want to know what art abandonment program is, let me know and I'll tell you in another video because this probably has gone already too effing long. So, have a good day. And if you're in the New Jersey or the Pennsylvania area, I think is all I saw so far. It's a heat advisory again. So please be careful. If there's a heat advisory where you are, please pay attention to it. Heat stroke and even worse, heat exhaustion, you can die from it. Okay, you can. And don't be like my ex-husband, drinking a wine cooler. Well, he would drink beer and say, well, I am drinking fluids. No. Did you know caffeine and alcohol dehydrate you? So for every beer or, glass of iced tea or something that you drink, you're not getting the hydration. Water. Water. Or water with meal drops in it. Water. Water. Not iced. I'm not saying you can't have a thing of coffee or a thing of tea. I'm drinking an iced tea right now. But make sure you're drinking water too. Oh, Judi, I'll go pee all the time. Yeah, well, that's the way the body works. Yeah. What is it, 70% water? Drink water! Peace out.